So, all right, let's wrap this bad boy up with something that's a little bit more serious. Whew. Very much serious. The Washington football team, owned by Dan Snyder, has been getting pressured over the last couple weeks, ever since the big movements and everything has been going on with Black Lives Matter and everything, to change their name from Redskins to something else. There's been petitions been put out for years. We've had Native Americans that have protested games. There's been so many petitions and stuff signed to get this done, and Dan Snyder's always refused. Well, something has happened to pique his interest. And what piqued his interest is his pocketbook. He's actually been pressured by a lot of his sponsors. We have FedEx, who's on board, who is the title sponsor of their stadium, saying that they're going to pull out if they don't change the name. Nike has already removed all of the merchandise for Washington and said that they need to change the name. I just saw that Walmart has pulled all Washington merchandise out of their stores. So they're saying change the name, as well as additional investors and stakeholders into the team. So, Jimmy, do you see Snyder breaking and changing the name of the team?
Yeah, because I think you've outlined exactly why he has to. You know, power only responds to power. Money only responds to money. He has both. So he's responding to those powerful entities who are sponsors, who are investment partners with him, because also the minority owners of the team who own 40%, he owns the other 60%, they want to pull out.
You know what's funny? I read an article with Pro Football Talk, and come to find out, they've been trying to sell that for years, but nobody wants to buy it.
No.
That, Jimmy, the NFL franchise has the option to allow you to purchase a portion of them.
Probably at a discount.
At a discounted rate,
right.
Most likely. And nobody wants to buy it.
No.
Everybody wants to buy into an NFL team. Everybody does. And they can't find a suitable buyer?
No, because it's not so much that they don't want to buy the Washington R words. You buy Dan Snyder along with it. They don't want to buy him. They know that he is primarily the James Dolan of the NFL. He makes horrible decisions. By a lot of accounts, he's not a very good person, and he can be very difficult to work with. And his team, personnel-wise, and well, I won't say personnel-wise, because they really do have some good players, but something always tends to get in the way of them being able to have the success, we'll say, that they once had, like the Knicks. So no one wants to do business or be involved in business with Dan Snyder because the stench of his persona gets onto you.
So in other words, you're saying that he just gets in his own way.
Right. Yes, he does.
He gets in his own way. So wow.
I don't even think this will help. I don't think changing the name will help because they know he's not doing it because it's the right thing to do to him or out of the kindness of his heart. Is because, again, money and power saying you change the name or we are leaving you. So
and I get why it would take that because fans were still supportive as hell to that franchise. I mean, they were still getting people to the arena, to the stadium, to the football stadium, right, even with a garbage product. They were still going out there. I mean, the years of Kirk Cousins at quarterback, they were still filling it up. People still love going to see Washington play. And now I guess money is starting to really talk, like the big money. Like fans were still going to go watch them play. I mean, they weren't going to stop fans from going out there because there's so many diehards out in that area, in the B-More area, Maryland. But the fact that sponsors have decided, and I guess because of all the movement and everything and the new reality of our society where people are actually being caring about the thought process of why people are offended or bothered by this, you're starting to see that people are willing to actually listen at this point. And so, I mean, do you feel like this is the right time to get it done? Yeah,
I mean, and it's only like this in this type of environment or social political climate that this sort of thing could occur. Because like you said, they've been trying to change this name for years. And because Native Americans are so underrepresented or so disenfranchised and because they're so overlooked in a lot of ways, just by virtue of the numbers, then it's been difficult for them to move this forward and get this name changed because outside of this climate, all Daniel Snyder would have to say, and he said, over my dead body, am I changing the name? Because he was not forced to.
So he's about to die is what he's saying.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is he about to be mummified? And
I guess so.
Or whatnot?
He didn't care. So I'm very happy for, I mean, not just the Native American community, but for all of us. Because, again, this is part of a larger issue, of a larger movement where the relics and the statues and the symbols of racism, of bigotry, of oppression, whether we knew it or not, just like Aunt Jemima syrup, are leaving, are gone, are canceled. And this is a part of that. So I'm happy that, in a sense, Native Americans have been able to, and people who feel this way about the Washington R-word name, have been able to join this movement in order to get something done that really should have been done decades ago, had the right people in power been willing to do the right thing.
So do you see this trend happening with additional teams that our mascots are named after Native American tribes?
That's what I'm curious about.
Right now,
think
the
so.
Indians are. I heard the Cleveland Indians are investigating theirs.
Yes, they are. The Atlanta Braves as well.
The Braves, and then I think the Chicago Blackhawks made a statement around it, but I'm not sure. I have to go back and check my source on that.
So that's the thing. All right. So like, if the R words change their name, and then let's say the Cleveland I words change their name, does that basically mean that everyone else, I guess, sort of in that lineage of that type of name, have to change their name? So, like, is it then inevitable that the Braves have to change their name, that the Blackhawks, that even the Kansas City, that they have to change their name as well? Yeah.
See, that's
is that taking it too far?
I don't know where the too far step is. I don't feel like Chiefs is insensitive. I don't know about Indians. Now, the one thing I've always had an issue with the Indians is Chief Wahoo.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been my issue. That caricature is basically the most derogatory way of what people viewed Native Americans. That was making them into a for real mascot. That was a caricature, no different than seeing blackface or heck, when we watched, what was that, Be Water with Bruce Lee, and it was showing how people were portraying Asians that weren't Asian. It was like, and that's the view of them. It was a derogatory way. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen widespread where schools have changed their names from Native Americans for years. Like, this has been going on for like 10, 20 years or whatnot. But specific ones, like specific tribes, like, for example, Florida State, they're not changing from the Seminoles because that tribe, the Seminole tribe, says, no, we love that. Their higher up said, we're keeping that because we love the representation there. I think the Illini is the exact same way. They're the same thing with their tribe. So Illinois is not going to change theirs, but there's a good chance that a lot of the other professionals will have to change. I mean, the Indians have already gotten rid of Chief Wahoo, which is probably the one thing they should have never created from the beginning. But at the same time, when it was created, of course, that was a time when that was okay to be that way.
Now, does Washington have time to change his name before the season starts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. So that part's pretty easy.
Yeah, pretty easy. They probably can use a lot of the throwback jerseys. That
just rip off the decals.
Yeah, just go. Boom. That's basically what it is. Just go with just that color helmet. Keep the same color scheme. Like I think the one that I've seen that I like the most has been the Washington Red Tails, based upon the World War II team. Or whatnot.
Yeah, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like that, but at the same time, I think that because this name has been so disrespectful to Native Americans for years, I think that. And again, I don't trust Daniel Snyder to do this correctly, to choose a name that, in the sense, I guess you can't make up for that, but is more fairly and more positively representative of Native Americans. If there's a name out there somewhere that can encapsulate that, since this R-word name has encapsulated the opposite of Native Americans, and I think that that's your first choice. But if you can't find anything satisfactory, I think Red Tails is a good name, and I've heard several others that are also good names. So either way, I think that they are.
Yeah, the one that everyone is pushing for is the Washington Warriors, and a lot of people are saying like that defeats the purpose of getting rid of that because you'd use the same logos and same stuff, and it's like, yeah, we kind of want to get rid of that. That's the point.
What about Cowboys? You think that changing that name is taking it too far? Because you think Cowboys chasing and killing Native Americans, John Wayne.
I mean,
what do you think about that?
Dallas
Is
Cowboys,
that pushing it too far?
I mean, that's why they were rivals in the NFC East. That's a Cowboys and Indians type battle. I mean, yeah.
No way, Jerry.
No, Cowboys ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Have you seen Jerry Jones?
Who?
Yeah.
Is he alive?
Right.
I thought he sold the team.
His cameras and microphones all over the place. I haven't heard him say a word.
He hasn't said a word in 4 weeks.
Okay, so all this stuff going on and like nothing to say.
Nothing at all. He has nothing to say.
Yeah, that's your owner, Cowboys fans. That's your owner.
Yeah, you know why?
I know exactly why.
Jerry flipping Jones.
That's what you're going to say, Jerry flipping Trump. Might as well be.
I mean, in certain terms, but yeah, you probably go there. So, all right.
That may not be fair to him.
Yeah, in theory, but who cares?
I miss Jerry Jones.
Yeah, we're not fair. That's the point. Unfair is the whole point of the whole show. We're trying to be fair.
We are.
At the same
Sometimes
time,
we are fair.
lead
You're
very-
right. I wasn't being fair to Jerry Jones.
You weren't being fair to Jerry
I shouldn't
Jones.
have called him Jerry Trump. I apologize. That is unfair. Thank you for calling me on that. I'm trying to be more fair.
Yeah, that's the whole goal of
Right.
the show. As we wrap this bad boy up, our whole purpose with it. So we appreciate y'all joining us as usual. We're here to try to bring fairness to the conversation around sports, make it more amusing, be as pensive as possible and thoughtful with what we do. But with that, what was on the editing floor, Jimmy?
I'll tell you. All right, so here's what did not make it into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Five-star center McCord Maker signs with Howard University to make the HBCU movement real. Thank you, Jamel Hill. Jay, quick thought on that.
Love it.
All right. Giannis Antetokounmpo says it's actually going to be harder to win the championship this year than any other year, given the bubble, the pandemic, the social and political unrest. That sounds like an article topic for one of us. We'll get more into that. All right. Also on the cutting room floor, the NFL cancels the first 2 preseason games. Jay, quick thought on that.
Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Right. Cancel all 4, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I think we'll throw in J.R. Smith. We just throw him in there.
What? What?
The Knicks did it. Why can't we?
Well,
yes,
valid.
he is a Laker now, which terrifies me that he's going to have that one brain fart in the wrong moment that will cost the Lakers a chance at winning the championship when stuff is already stacked against him.
Oh, he's.
I mean, I'm supposed to shoot the
On
ball.
the wrong team. I'm on y'all's team now.
You mean I'm not supposed to pass it to Kawhi?
Man, anything is possible. Just
J.R.
remember
Smith.
that.
But then again, he is clutch. He's got ice in his veins. But just please, J.R., do not make that one mistake.
That's what we ask. All right. Check us out on our site, frozen.me. You'll also be able to find all of our content on our YouTube page. Follow us on all the social medias. I will have all of the links and everything underneath this in the descriptions. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple days.
Peace.